Hi, it's Kent here again, and today I've been working on a little commission. Hopefully you can see that there. This is a little romantic beach scene of a couple at Cresswell Beach, which is on the south side of Druridge Bay. I've done a little painting demonstration of this. Hi, it's voiceover Kent here. Let's put a little bit of seashore noise in the background just to give a little bit of ambience to this narration. As you can see, I've got a thumbnail sketch that I've done, and before starting with the actual painting itself, I always like to do that just to check that the composition is correct. For some reason I couldn't find the masking tape today, so I just used some masking fluid, but I also used that on the figures themselves because I wanted to keep the figures nice and bright at the end. It's time to clean the palette first before doing anything, and then apply some clean water to the sky ready for the wash. What I'm using on this wash is some yellow ochre on the horizon, some cerulean blue in the middle of the sky, and some French ultramarine at the top. And then I let that all kind of blend in together. That gives the most accurate depiction of a sky colour. And then when that was still wet, I was pulling out some of that paint with some kitchen towel, and I like to use a little bit of darker tone, some French ultramarine blue and a little bit of light red. Gives a kind of greyish dark colour just to give some shade into the bottom of the clouds there. Once that was fully dried, it was time to put the dunes in. This is yellow ochre, but as I was receding into the distance, I was adding more and more blue and watering down the mix just so that kind of starts to recede into the distance. It was time to put the dune grass in. As you can see, I'm using a flat brush. I like to use the flat brush because it helps me to create that feeling of the contours of the dunes. While that was still wet, I scratched in a few little details of some of the marram grass, the beach grass that you get growing there. Again, just in the foreground, and then I was putting a little bit of just clear water in before starting the actual beach scene itself, just so that it helped to fade it off into the distance. And again, using yellow ochre and drawing the brush towards the perspective lines, so that helps just to create that kind of feeling of perspective. Then I decided to go for quite a vibrant colour. It looks quite vibrant as it's going in here, but it does dull down a little bit with the sea. We do get a nice turquoise sea sometimes when the conditions are right. And then before I could do anything else, I needed to give that a quick dry off with a hairdryer. Once that was dry, I wanted to really emphasise that misty feel that you get with the distance of this beach. Because this beach is 9 miles long, you can't see right to the end of it, but you do get this kind of misty haze. So I used a little bit of white chalk there, just dusting that across and smudging that in. Then it was finally time to remove that masking fluid that I'd put over the figures, just carefully removing that, and then start filling in the details. I started off with some skin tones and then filled that in and started putting the clothes in just nice and loosely. This was probably one of the most detailed parts of the picture, putting the details in, a little bit of shading, because that's where the eye's drawn to these two figures. So I did spend a little bit more time on those. And last but not least, I used my sketchbook just to mask off the painting while I flicked in a little bit of raw umber, again just to add a little bit of texture to the foreground. I'd also used a bit of crushed salt on there as well, which you can see in a previous video, and it gives a nice little feeling to the painting. You can see the scratches in the grass has that nice level of detail where you need it, just at the foreground. The eyes drawn into the painting, into the two figures that are walking along the beach. So that's that painting there, it's all mounted up. Thanks for watching. If it's your first time watching this channel, welcome along. If you've been before, welcome back. If you'd like to see more videos like this, really appreciate you giving the video a little thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.